Well, hello everyone. Hopefully we're getting ready for Star Wars Day continued. How's everyone doing today? As you can tell, we're about ready to get started here, so I'm just getting the games loaded up, and we're going to get started. I had already decided what game to stream. Let me turn the opening music down a little bit more. I had already decided what to stream before I knew I was going to be streaming on Star Wars Day. Since I usually do it on Tuesdays, I thought, well, why not switch it to Star Wars Day, because that's the day when I actually don't have anything going on. And unfortunately, I do have some stuff that I got to get done tomorrow. Tomorrow's actually shaping up to be a much busier day than I thought. So we're just going to go ahead and continue with our normal stream, but we will probably have some Star Wars thrown into there a little bit. It'll be off of our normal stream that we're doing, but I am going to get started with the regular stuff here. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and switch over. Hello, everyone. Here I am. So, we are getting ready to go here. If you are in the chat, let me know. I'm just keeping an eye on it this time. Waiting for someone to say hello or anything like that beforehand. Before I introduce today's first game. So if you're new to the stream, what I have been doing in the past... Oh, I got more stuff here. Sorry, I have a whole bunch of junk piled up on my desk. Before I do get started with the stream, I did want to say that what I have been doing lately is collecting footage for the Ultimate Sega 32x review. And what I plan on doing is taking all the footage that I gather from here and actually showcasing it in that review. I thought I was done collecting footage for the Sega CD, but I'm not. So I guess I'm going to have to do some streaming with the Sega CD as well. Don't know if I'll get to that tonight, as we have some Star Wars stuff to get to. Got my TIE Fighter Star Wars t-shirt on today, so just here, turn that down a little bit so you can see it more. See how busy my desk is. And it actually does say Star Wars on it. Been wearing that most of the day today. That said, let's go ahead and introduce the first game we got here. First game we're going to do is Tempo. This is a game that I have played. I actually collected it for the Sega 32x probably in the last year or so. Somebody had recommended it to me and thought this would be one to actually stream. Go and get the game booted up here. There we go.
You know what time it is. Yo, homie, peep beer, Tempo, check it out. You know he makes it funky, and he's good to go.
I like how the sprite is super scaled forward. And it's also strange how much of this is actually sampled music, because this was on a cartridge, not a CD. And you can tell that they're taking advantage of all of the extra colors that the 32X can accomplish here. But anyway, so this game is kind of unique in the fact that it has a huge music theme to it. It came out in 1995 for the 32X. Make sure this ain't too loud. And it was actually developed by Sega, and I can't remember the other company that's associated with this. It's something company. I think it's a Color. But anyway, in this game, the title character, which is Tempo, and his girlfriend, Katie, star in the major minor show as they climb to the top of the tower to defeat King Dirge. The stages are presented as performances on a musical variety show. It says like Soul Train on these notes. That must have been from Wikipedia. And the games uses hand-drawn graphics for the backgrounds and the sprites, so everything you see on here has been scanned in somehow to the 32X to use it, because they have the expanded color palette of the 32X. And the game got decent reviews for the time, but I think it's more fondly remembered today for its uniqueness, because it is kind of like a music-themed game, but it's not anything like I would consider it. It's a platform game. It's not like Rock Band or anything else like that. Hey, Mr. Let me see if I pronounce that right. Mr. Tamiya, or Tamiya, 89. Hello, dude. Hello to you as well. How you doing tonight? I'm just kind of checking out the demos here. And yeah, that's the one thing I noticed about this game that I remembered from playing it the first time, is that the backgrounds are very animated, and it's kind of disorienting to me when I played this the last time. So, haven't streamed this before. I did play this when I first got it for the 32X, but I haven't picked it up since. Mainly because I don't play the 32X not too often anyway. I almost said not very much too often, and that's not really a sentence. See, I'm also reading up on this a little bit here. Apparently there was a sequel to this game I was not aware of for the Sega Saturn. I'm going to have to add that to my list. So I'm going to go ahead and start my capture. I also capture the games as I'm streaming without the overlays and everything, so that I don't have to. I'm getting some late Happy Star Wars Day texts. And I guess I'll be asking this a lot. Has anyone started watched any Star Wars movies today? I tried to, but I had to work, and then I got home, and I had to get ready for the stream, so... Next year I'll have to request the day off, right? Let's see what options this gives me. I'm hoping, yeah, let's go on easy. Control pad type is fine. Sound monitor, what's that? Ah, so this is kind of like what I mentioned with the Knuckles Chaotix. Had like a little sound test they could do here. There we go. Where it shows the individual channels of the music as it goes through here. So I may... That's weird. These are all... Let me go back. Here we go. There we go. This will give me something that's longer. So the Knuckles Chaotix one is a bit more involved. It actually shows what each channel is, and this one's just showing the random channels that are in here. But since it's music themed, I assume they would have something where you can play the music separately. They were really proud of the sound hardware they did on the 32X, I think. And excuse me for a second, I'm going to cough here. Just because that went down the wrong pipe. There we go. Let me try one more song here. I'm going backwards because I doubt that we actually hear these songs again, and then I'm going to start playing the game. Very proud of the sound hardware in their stuff. I was going to mention that because they put a sound chip in every single one of the systems. They put 2 in the Sega Genesis. Then they put 1 in the 32X. And yes, they even had another one in the Sega CD.
You know what time it is. Yo, homie, peep him. Tempo, check it out. You know he makes it funky, and he's good to go.
Very 90s sounding soundtrack right there. Alright. Hopefully everyone's trickled in this going too. Oh, do I get to choose my level? I've got a choice between boxing glove, headphones, or the shoe. Let's do headphones. Major, minor show. Kind of crazy with the hi-fi performance. I don't know what that looks like on your end, but it's flashing on mine, so if it actually didn't show that on there, yeah, it kind of flashes on there. So, here we go. I've got jump, I can shoot something, and I can kick. Oh, that's very well. Oh, I can kind of float around, too. Look at that background, though. Like little ants or something back there. Oops. Okay, so I have to do that. Oh. No way to get back up there? Alright. Just tell me that way is the way to go, but... I just ran out of health. That's not the right way to go. The physics are a little wonky. Alright. So they can't hurt me if and I can jump on them. If I shoot them with, what is that? That's a musical note, okay. So it is a little strange. Oh, no, that's why I fell off the first time. Okay. It's a little... Controls I would call a little bit slippery, but it's not too bad. Okay. Was I supposed to... Okay, those things apparently kill me. I'm learning this thing as we go here. This kind of looks like a game that would have been out on, like, the Amiga or something like that. Okay, so I don't have to shoot him first, I can just jump him. I like that. Okay, oops. That background is very trippy compared to everything else. There we go. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay, I don't know what that was, but... Oh, it unlocks this area. Okay, it gives me... Shit. So the background is telling me something about 2x. Okay. There we go. Okay, don't want to hit that. Okay, well, that was not worth it. Oh, jeez. Oh, this is like some Donkey Kong Country level maneuvering right there. Oh, I didn't even realize what I was walking on were cassette tapes. This game is strange to say the least, which I knew that kind of coming into it. Whoa. Don't like that. Something. Ah, there we go. I'm supposed to do something here. I don't know what just happened. I thought I died. Dance, eh? Let me pause that for a second. I like how you pause it and the background still keeps going. It looks like animated GIFs or GIFs back there. Hey, retro game players, how we doing? Sup, man? Tempo game is crazy for sure. I agree with you. I'm gonna call you Mister, so I don't have to keep saying timing at 89 after. Have I got the WrestleMania the arcade game? No, I do not. I have it for other platforms, but I have not gotten it for the 32X. I'll say yet. I'm still on the lookout for it. It's not that expensive, if I remember correctly. So. What just happened? Okay. I am very confused. This level design is very abstract. It almost makes me wonder if someone like Sonic Team developed it. So I'm assuming it's like a bonus area. A DJ booth over there. Interesting. Now I'm back here. Oh, jeez. I don't know what the significance on the hands is, I just know I can collect them. Hey, OXO, how we doing? Getting my... oh, sheesh. Getting my butt handed to me here by Tempo is what's going on at the moment. I am half not certain... it's way up there. Is this the exit? Okay. You are at, 1,500 hours in there, huh? Oh, not 1,500. 15 minutes, so just past midnight, huh? Yeah, it's, not as early as my last stream, for sure. When I did some, what was it? This looks interesting. Okay, I cannot interact with it. Oh, yeah, I can. So, that's interesting. I can walk up kind of like the equalizer here. Thank goodness I'm not... I forgot about that. Thank goodness I'm not, like, sensitive to seizures or anything like that. Sorry if you guys are. From the UK, too? Yeah. Seems to be the popular thing for Monday nights. Okay, I see where this is going. very confused about what's going on and where I'm going. Gosh. Oops. I knew that was going to happen. I feel like there's something up here. Ah. I'm dead. Game over. I did lose a lot of lives already. Okay, let's choose a different level. Doubt I'm actually able to beat one, but man, these things are trippy. Someone recommended this game to me last time and saying that I had to play it, and I'm not quite sure what I think about it yet. I think once I enter. Okay, this sounds familiar. I probably played this level before. Okay. Strange how I jump higher. It's not the way I thought it would be. Oh! No, get out of the water, get out of the water. I will say the backgrounds are very, very distracting. Okay, so I've got the girlfriend. Surprised I'm not having to rescue her at all. Oh. Say for some reason he's not. There we go, I have like a sliver of health left. Come on. As I say, get back to an area where I can. Does that restore health? I hope it does. It does not. That's right, I made it through the first area. That's quicker than I got through the first level. Or the first level of the train. Oh. Okay. That's my sliver of health. How far back is it going to set me? Not too far. That's disappointing. That looks like the easy way up. Unlike what I did last time. Oh, I got a CD. So there's these cows everywhere. I'm assuming that was invincibility, but that made no sense to me. What? How did I miss that? I'll have to look at the replay here. Yeah, it looks like I went right through it. That's what I like about watching this a little bit on delay. Hit detection's a little off. It's okay still. Maybe I'm not meant to jump on those? I have no idea where I'm supposed to land. Thankfully I was able to save that. Okay. Another end? I don't know what that means. Okay, something happened. Hey Damon, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Everyone's Star Wars Day going okay? Oh, jeez. I'm assuming that's a boss? Okay. I'm gonna save the state, so that if I die again, I don't have to start over from the beginning. Oh, just like that, okay. Oh, he still got me. Yep, you just killed me. Let's see if I know how to get out of his way. It doesn't matter whenever he starts flipping, if I'm anywhere near him, but he just lands right on me too. If I click continue, where does it start me? Back at the very beginning. Let's try him again. You like the yodeling song? Any golf tonight? We'll see. Oh, okay. That does something. Still not able to get out of the way in time. I don't understand. Doesn't matter where I go. Okay. There was only one time I was able to avoid damage. No way I could avoid it there. Yeah. See, he follows me no matter which direction I go. I gotta figure out... Okay, there's one hit. Okay. Oh. There, I'm dead. I don't know if it's worth. I don't know if it's worth to keep going or not on that one. Let's try the other level. If I need to, I'll come back to that. I'll say this: the control of this character is not very good. He moves incredibly slow. Indigestion performance. Okay. Oh. Okay. This is kind of like one of those gross out style games, isn't it? This dog's got some cavities. I'm assuming that's a dog's mouth. It doesn't look like a human's mouth. And there's a cheeseburger here. Have I tried the shoe boss yet? Yeah, I just gave up on him. That guy was not very fun. Okay. Oh, gosh darn it. I'm just. I don't know what this guy's supposed to be. But he turns invincible and then keeps walking towards me. Gosh darn it. It is very hard to see where everything's at. And there are things that don't have anything to do with what you're doing floating all around the screen. Okay, so apparently you can't kill those things. Okay, I learned earlier that I can't do anything with those. This level, I think, is the strangest yet. Oh, I've got arrows pointing me this way. And down to this guy. Why is it pointing me back the way I came? Ah, that's why. Because now, it's safe to go. Why is there a car driving around in this dog's stomach? Yeah, this level's cool. It's definitely a different design than what I would think. I did like the beginning with the roof that closed down on you. I'm just losing life. That's it. Alright, it continues. No, I'm not out of lives yet. Got one more. Okay. I really wish there was a way you could run. But as far as I can tell, there is not. Okay, I just got a health boost. What the heck are these heart things? Oh. This is the guy who dusted me off before the boss fight last time. Am I already at the boss fight? I am. We're gonna save here. Oh. Okay. This guy's easy. Is that it? Did I seriously just win? Okay. Well, I guess I should have went with the first level first. Is this game only 3 levels? Took me almost all my lives and continues to get here. Okay. I don't even know what to do. I didn't even make it to the boss on this one. Hi-Fi Performance. Yeah, this is the one I looked at. It is a lot easier now that I'm getting used to the controls, so that's good. Oh. The jumping is a little off in this game, and I don't know if it's because I'm getting a little delay with my capture card, but I think the jumping's a tad off, and the controls are just a little bit clunky is the only way I can describe it. It's supposed to be doing something, but it's not doing anything for me. That background, man. I think I remember something about that last time and why I decided I shouldn't even bother with that next time. Man, that little... these little multicolored butterflies I keep getting here. It keeps knocking hands out of me. But I don't know if I should go back and grab them. I'm not doing so hot. What controller am I using? It's a 3-button controller, but it's actually, since it's emulated, this is like a Super Nintendo controller. So... in my past streams, I've talked about the frustrations of using real hardware when streaming, so I'm not always willing to put up with that battle. I'm doing better with this. Each playthrough I am getting a little bit better. I will say this is a game that does not make me feel like I'm playing the next gen out of 16-bit. Looks like I'm very... oh yeah, this is the Donkey Kong Country. Oh, come on! Cheap shot. That was very Donkey Kong Country-esque. Tight corner, and then it gives me an enemy I have to try to defeat. Oh yeah, and this is where I got my second person. Oh well. Alright. And then the double jump function here is not as friendly as I would like either. See, I almost bit it right then and there. I think this is my last life of my last continue, so if I can't get it in this run, it's going to restart me from the beginning, I bet. Which will end this game run. I'm not looking to grind this game. This was worth it. They got these guys with the basketballs that, for some reason, can dodge these notes now. Oh, that's what I was trying to get all last time and I couldn't. What I really could need? Is that restoring my health? These musical notes? Yes, they are. Okay. Ah. Of course, they gotta put something just out of your sight there. You know what? Not worth it. I don't know if it's specifically because of the backgrounds, but there are several times I can't see what's coming at me. No, no. Oh, I can grab onto the walls? Maybe? Apparently not. That's interesting. I think I just figured out a way to climb walls. Didn't know I could do that. So I got my health restored. That is good to know. That's also good to know. Can't get in there. Oh yes. I remember the sparks now. I don't think it's gonna matter though if I can't. Don't think I want to go down there. Okay, I was gonna say I have no idea what this is doing. Okay. Just gonna do now. Break down another wall. Oh, okay. What? Is this giving me extra lives? So apparently if I still had her, that's what the whole point of this was. It did give me an extra life of some sort, so that's good, I guess. Oh, okay. That's what's going on here. I was like, I didn't know what path those were following, but apparently it was. Oh, come on! Yeah. There's no way I was gonna make it through there without taking a hit. Well, we made some progress. Music is cool, but you're already tired of it. Yeah, those backgrounds are getting a little bit tiring to me. We beat the first level, I can't move. Oh, can I? There we go. Don't worry, this is my last life, so as soon as I run out of as soon as I run out of health on this level, I think we're done with this game. But this is the farthest I've ever gotten in this game. That's gotta be like a checkpoint. Okay, oops. Oh, jeez. I can walk on a... Oh. It's kind of funny, I can walk on the LED numbers. This game has a lot of 90s references, and it's very abstract. It's somewhat... Oh, jeez, I forgot. It'd be really great if I could figure out a way of not taking damage there. Again, more Donkey Kong style action in here. I say Donkey Kong Country is what I'm really meaning. Okay. Gonna dance. So does that mean I get my buddy back? Yep. So I've got a lot of things targeting me and trying to shoot me. Okay. That's it. Perfect. Made it to another boss. That's more than I thought. Is this game by Rare? You would think. It's actually one that was directly by Sega and another company. I actually developed this game for the 32x. Now I'm going to be battling a pair of headphones, which immediately keeps taking a... Oh! Oh! I thought I was gonna get him. Oops. Okay. Somehow he got me. Oh! Okay. Okay. I can beat this guy. But possibly. How did I fall right through him? It's like instantly as soon as he got... Alright, now, it's like figuring out... See how quickly it attacks me sometimes? And other times, it just doesn't? Okay, I'm gonna save this stuff. This is getting... See how much health it takes out of him versus one of his hits takes out of me. Every time I start getting ahead here, I'm just gonna... Man, this thing is chugging along. Getting a little bit of slowdown here. Alright. Save state. There's like no way of avoiding some of his attacks. Pretty good. Okay. See? Oh, there we go. Hey, Kira Godzilla, welcome to the stream. Good luck and May the 4th be with you. Thanks, I got my... I don't know if you can see it when I'm turned, but I got my Star Wars shirt on today. I have more than one. 32x is the greatest console of all time. Ethel Chip says, hey, welcome to the stream, by the way. Yeah, not quite sure if it's the greatest console of all time. Definitely hard to program for it. This game is just... Oh, this is such a product of the mid-90s, it's not even funny. So, I'm not quite sure what to say about that. Oh, I really don't want to have to fight my way back to the shoe. The shoe was a bit ridiculous. I couldn't really get to him. This is my last life, I doubt. There we go. I say I doubt I actually get to the shoe boss again. But at least now I know where I'm heading. Oh. No. Oh, I got it. Okay. Does this help me skip? No, this gives me... Okay, I didn't have my dance partner last time. Oh, and I don't this time either. She could probably bust through that wall and make it so much easier for me. Darn it. More a boots person myself. Yeah. Rather than the shoe. As I said, the timing it takes to actually jump off of those is something else. Okay. Like I said, I'm getting a little better with this. Got a real disco thing going here? Yeah. I'm just curious if this is the last level of the game, or what. Oh, I forgot about this thing. This thing's ridiculous. We just gotta get through this, right? We're getting through this together. Here's the YOLO music in case you were missing it. And for some reason a bunch of cows coming up here. You know, between this and Earthworm Jim, was there like a cow obsession in the mid-90s? I tell you, I'm not... I didn't lose a life getting to him, and now we're getting ready for the boss. I don't have a full life, and I'm out of lives. Alright. Let me pause this for a second. Ha! All shoes must die. Hey, Jet Screamer, welcome to the stream. You're just in time to see a shoe nail me to the ground. That's it. I'm already dead. I do not have a password, but I do have a save state. See how quickly he kills me? Okay. Look at that. When yeah. Ah. See, I'm not sure what makes him go one way versus the other. We're gonna go through this with save states because there's no such thing as cheating on the 32x. And now I have no idea where you want new save state. We're almost there. Yeah! Bet you felt like a heel, yes. Alright. Now that is a victory that is well earned. Holy cow. Now, even still, I had to use the save states to get to this point. Oh. My gosh. Then they have I'm going to call these butt ants. That's what they look like. And I just thought of that. Perfect. We're done with the show. Did we beat the game? Is this what it is on easy? And by the way, this is the easy difficulty. I'm not even doing this on normal. What? I am very confused now. We're out of levels. But it still wants me to pick one. Let's go back to my beginning. Save the state. Ah. Okay, so there is more to this game. I don't know. I have no lives left, and I've never gotten this far. Think I should keep going with it, or should I move on to the next one? I heard somebody say they were already done with it, but I've definitely got enough footage captured to feature this game in the Ultimate 32x review. And I could come back to it later. How far are we into the stream? Oh my gosh, we're already an hour in. Grinding that game did take some time, didn't it? Alright. So in that case, I think I'm just going to end it here. That was definitely a lot of fun. But we're not ending the stream, just to let you know. We're just ending that game. We're going to move on to the next one. And the next one is... Afterburner. I like these transitions I'm doing it. Great, ready for the next? Yeah, I think so too, Damon. I've also got a couple of neat things that I can show you guys. I got a capture footage for. Oops. Start that capture. I don't know if you guys heard that. Is this louder or not? Oh yes, Afterburner 2, but I think this is just called Afterburner Complete. Yep, Afterburner Complete. But it's based off of Afterburner 2 for the Genesis. And basically this is more like the arcade perfect port. So what they used to build the Sega Genesis at first was... You're probably hearing an echo because of the speakers on my TV. But anyway, so the 32X kind of expanded on... Interesting, let's go. Yeah, I want to get started with this here pretty quick. Sweet, getting this for the Polymega. They're expensive. Oh yeah, I forgot. Is the Polymega compatible with the 32X? A complete and balanced breakfast, yeah. But anyway, so the Sega 16 hardware is what this was made on in the arcades. The Sega Genesis was based on the Sega 16 hardware, but they had to make a lot of compromises to make it low cost. Low enough cost to actually sell it as a game console. But the 32X gave the 16-bit Genesis the ability to make almost an arcade perfect port of this. We played Space Harrier last time. I just want to play this now and get through at least a couple stages here. I doubt I'm able to grind it very long, but just want to play it because this does look the most like the arcade version, if I'm right. I'm just going to go for it. Although it still has the, yep, we're going to make it easy. Let's give me some more ships. Music test, nope. I think everything else is good. Speed low, speed high. I think we're good. Vulcan gun and missile.
Get ready.
Oh yes. I think Afterburner was the first game I played on my Master System as well. Yes, the Sega module can play 32X as well. Perfect. Oops. Oh, I got hit already. Look at the smooth scaling and rotation of all these sprites. Strangely, this was almost exactly what the Saturn was designed to emulate as well, only with more colors and possibly faster frame rate. Because the 32X shares a lot of similar architecture with the Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn and 32X share a lot of the same hardware design. I was going to say, I saw those missiles coming, no way I can get them all. But what's interesting is that this was, like I said, the most arcade perfect port of it, but it was given at a time where this game was too old to be appreciated by its audience. So older gamers would like it, but the younger generation probably wouldn't get it. They probably wouldn't think it was worth it to get just for this game. I forgot how interesting the night version is. Oh my gosh. I forgot how much harder this gets like instantly once it goes to night. This is only stage 3 on easy. Okay, now we're on stage 4. Not quite ready to do my... Every time I try to take aim, There's no way I can play offensively and defensively at the same time. I can only do one or the other. And yes, I do feel like this will be easier to play on the using a joystick. I feel like I'm getting any closer to my goal. I am racking up some score. Up there it is. I got a little bit farther. That's it. That's already game over. So yeah, like I said, not very good at the game, but we got through here. Oh, got a few comments here. I should say there are any 32x games on CD. Yes, there are definitely some CD games that are also available on that also utilize the 32x. I think there's only about 5 of them altogether, maybe less than that. I don't think it's more than 5. Top Gun on the NES had better graphics, Jake. Yeah, that's all that's. That would be a good one. I would love to get the SD card solution for my Saturn. I saw that first for the Dreamcast, and I thought that'd be an interesting proposition for that. But the Saturn for sure, because those games got way up in price very quickly. Maybe. I actually just got, not just, a few months ago. Oh my gosh, that's because it's been more than a few months ago. It's probably been about a year ago. I got the Sega Sports Sega Dreamcast edition. So it's the black one, because then I thought about replacing my white Sega Dreamcast with it, making that my workhorse, because the white one has yellowed a lot, and I really don't want to take it all the way apart and retrobrite it, if that's all I'm going to do is retrobrite it. But if I put the SD card solution on it, and then use the black one to be my workhorse for the actual CDs, I can do that too. I just wish they would be able to guarantee that it's compatible with most of the games. I did hear that some of those have some compatibility issues. Yeah, I had it on Saturn. It was the Saturn Sega Ages disc. Really? Huh. I love the Doctor Strangelove talking scene, yeah. Where they're in midair refueling. It really seems like Sega did a better job with the 32X than Nintendo did with the 64. That could be debated. They were both hard to program for, actually. So that comment does have some merit. Both the Nintendo 64 and the PSX were hard for me to see without my eyes bulging out. The N64 seemed really worried, whereas the PlayStation just had a lot of stuff going on, yeah. Worried, equally blurry, yeah. There are so many things I want to buy, but you're saving for a condo. Yeah, that's kind of the same way where I'm at. I have to get a balance. Like, there are some games that I really want to get for the TurboGrafx. It's just not going to happen. Because to be honest, TurboGrafx games, the starting price for TurboGrafx games is around $20 a piece. Even for, like, your titles that aren't really worth that much, I would say. Like your sports titles and things like that. And I don't find them that much in my area. They are just hard to come by. So, but I was able to find a few because I got to collect some so I can at least do somewhat of a TurboGrafx review. We'll see if it's ultimate. But I also bought a PC Engine. I bought the PC Engine actually about 3 or 4 years ago. So I've had one for a while. And the PC Engine's a lot cheaper to collect for because they sold a lot more of them. You want the Duo, but it won't happen? Yeah, that's... I just got the Core Graphics too. Thinking of getting a Sega CD, is it worth it? Depends on what you want to do with it, Retro Gamer. Did you grow up with the system? And do you plan on actually collecting games to play on it? Because the Sega CD, I've been leaving this out of the review, but the Sega CD is incredibly easy just to copy discs. Or to get a ROM image, you can just burn the disc and it'll work in your Sega CD. So like the really expensive games like KO Flying Squadron and Snatcher, those will work fine without any modification. You just need to figure out how to burn the disc correctly and using any modern system, and it should work. So I haven't done that myself. Everything that I've featured in the reviews are using the original discs. Either I ripped the original disc so I can put it on an SD card so I can emulate it, but yeah, the Sega CD jumped a lot in price. That's why I'm on the fence. If you're a hardcore collector and you really want to go full out on it, and you have the budget for it, I would recommend it. There are some games on there I definitely recommend. Actually, a lot of them just in this last video were a lot of the games I'd recommend from it. Yeah, Sega CD has no copy protection whatsoever. Absolutely none. Alright, we do have another game to do here. I knew that wasn't going to take very long. I could play through it again, but I'm not going to get much farther because I'm not that good at the game. Let's see what else we got. Virtua Fighter, you are up next. This is another game I'm not going to get very far on. But this game is still relatively cheap for the 32X. Alright, whoops. There we go. Oh yes, another Sega Sports thing. This is not Virtua Fighter. This is Virtua Racer. We already did Virtua Racing. Yeah, I did. I clicked on the wrong one. Let's try that again. There we go. AM2, R&D Department number 2. Which is funny. Do you think they started naming them that because Nintendo named their stuff that? Sega CD games, disc only, go for $5 to $10, not including the rare ones. Yeah, it depends on where you get them from. On eBay and even the local retro game stores in my area, they had been... They're getting up there. I would say more on the $10 per disc loose, just because that's just how the prices are going. I don't know if that's going to be how inflation and everything works out with it too, so just like I said, it takes a budget if you want to get some good quality games. But some games that are available for cheap, or cheaper anyway, that I got, the Batman game that I got, that showed all those scalar races, those were all pretty good. That was The Adventures of Batman and Robin. I don't think that one was too expensive. Batman Returns is not that expensive either. Mickey Mania is good. Actually, there's a lot of them that are available on cartridge. Not Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim is expensive, just because it's rare. But I'm trying to think. I had another game right off the top of my head. My collection's way back there. I can't think of it. Star Wars Rebel Assault, when I bought it, was not that expensive, but it's not that good of a game either. So, but yeah, there's a bunch of games that they ported to the Sega CD from the console that are fairly cheap, and I would recommend getting. The Sega Classics collection wasn't that expensive either, so I mean, there's just a whole bunch of stuff on there. Actual hardware. This tablet has voice recognition problems. Did I miss something? I don't know if I get that. You finished Rebel Assault? It was very difficult? Yeah. I actually have to skip the first few missions where they're training you how to play the game, and then I'm okay from there for a while until it gets difficult again. But for some reason, the training mission gets me every time. I always die in those missions. The Virtua games are the best on 32X. Yeah, Virtua Racing, thankfully, is not that expensive. I definitely recommend it if you have a 32X. Virtua Fighter's not that expensive too, and it's kind of a gimme. This is the only way to play it on the Genesis, is the 32X version. Virtua Fighter 2 came out for there we go. Came out for... Lost my train of thought midway. Virtua Fighter 2 came out for the Genesis, but it is not... I don't like it. It's not very good, and it's a 2D pseudo 3D thing. It's just not very fun at all. So we're gonna do with the arcade. However, this game's also good on the Sega Saturn. I've already played this game once because I did a comparison when I first restored the 32X. And this game is better with the, This game is better with the 6-button controller. So, and because I'm emulating it, I think, there we go. I was gonna say, I might win one. I might win one or two. But I doubt I get very far. Yeah. So I have to jump, but then I have to time it right. There we go. And then, yeah, look at the physics of this. So this would have been majorly worth it. Oh, how to do a special move. Okay, so that's how I block.
Time over.
Oh, well, I win because, yeah, I had the advantage.
Fight one.
Oh, hang on. I was gonna read some comments, but it immediately starts me on wow. That took no time at all. Oh. Somehow I was able to do a charge. I don't know how I'm doing that. I like the replay is just going to show me doing that. Is this one of the games that AVGN did when he did his Sega 32x review? I really remember him like pasting his face onto one of these people. Sega Saturn looks better, but it is more glitchy. That I don't know. I haven't seen that. Played Virtua Fighter 2 on Genesis twice. Okay. So I said, I don't think I'm gonna... This is kind of like every single fighting game I've ever played. I find one button combination that works, and then if it keeps working, I don't change it. I'm actually surprised I'm doing so well, even though I cranked the difficulty level as low as I possibly could. I don't know if I'm gonna win. There we go. And you guys probably hear me, I'm just tapping the heck out of the button. I'm just spamming the button as much as I can. Got Virtua Fighter 2 with your Saturn. Easy, but still a good game. Yeah, they did release the 3D version of Virtua Fighter 2 for the Saturn, which is probably why they didn't do so good on the Genesis. So this is one where I gotta really start focusing on the defensive moves. But then look at this, you can tell the 32X is... Oh, am I gonna get ring out? Ring out, yes! The 32X is what's generating all the 3D, but the background, the flat background, that's what the Genesis is doing. And I'm pretty sure they're responsible for all the HUD there, the life bar gauge and everything. No, I'm too close to the edge. And I remember there was a way to... Oh. Come on. Ring out, ring out! Yes. Jump after him. I always jump after him on the ring out ones. Alright, so I think... Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I finally met my match here. I don't think I'm gonna get much farther. Because here I am spamming buttons and I'm just... Oh. Yeah. Oh, one kick to the head did pretty good. Yeah, that was close. So that's something you just don't get in my reviews. It's just how much I'm really just trying to survive in these games. You don't hear the button mashing that I do. Come Come on, get up. Alright. Come on, just don't hit me. Oh, 0.56 seconds left to go and I got it. Doing better than I thought. Thank goodness I remembered to start capturing this. Okay. Oh. Get up. Come on. Oh. Block. Oh. That's alright. I need to continue. Let's try this again. My hand's starting to get tired now. This is not a good game to play if you want to play games for hours. Oh, I have to start all over from the beginning? Let's try someone else. Jackie Bryant, why not?
Fight one, ready, go!
Ooh. She is definitely making short work of good old Jackie here. Alright. Jump if I can. Nope. Yep. That is not going to happen. I'm just going to... Oh, hand's starting to cramp up. Virtua Fighter 2 almost sold me on the Saturn, but once I played the PS1 demo disc of Wipeout, it was Sony all the way. I was wondering if you're going to play something like a Battle Arena Toshinden or something like that. Because that game was basically just Sony's alternative to this game. Hey, she stepped out of the ring too. That means she's disqualified, right? The game's cheating. That's how I'm doing so bad. Oh, I forgot to turn on my streaming light. You guys didn't see that? My question mark block. Alright, so now my hand is dead, but I gotta play another game. Let's see if we can find something a little bit more relaxing. I think that's all the 32x games I had planned. I heard somebody say they wanted me to play golf, but I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. Let's see if we can pick another game here. Switch games. So that would be all the 32x games that I had planned for today, but I was also thinking of doing some Star Wars streaming. And the game I wanted to capture footage for, I was actually going to try to get that video done before now. Unfortunately, it's not the case. It was actually a year ago when I did the last Star Wars, Super Star Wars game. So let's go ahead and see if we can look up one of those. This is going to take me a while to get to. There's significantly more games on the Super Nintendo than there are on... Here we go. And hopefully this doesn't get flagged for copyright for music, because last time I did a Star Wars game, they flagged it for the audio that was on there. There we go. So this game is incredibly hard and incredibly difficult. This is Super Empire Strikes Back, and this is where I left off on my Star Wars retrospective that I did back in the day. And it's not a 32x game, but I thought for sure, because we're here, I can start streaming one of these. And I actually need to set something up here. Let's see if I can look it up. Because it is Star Wars Day, this will be where I end it for today. Still got a lot more to stream, but this is just going to be the last one. Last game I get to today. Let's go ahead and do Super Empire Strikes Back. I can't remember the last time I played this game. Probably about a year ago, when I pulled everything out of there. And I would have done the 32x Star Wars game, except for I've already played it, so ever. And then 10 years later, we're going to make a Star Wars game where literally you can't die. And you have to build stuff with Legos for some reason. I bet you if somebody would have came to me with that idea and said that was what's going to happen to Star Wars games, I wouldn't have believed you. And yes, I didn't start playing the LEGO Star Wars games until the PlayStation 3, when I got the complete Star Wars collection. Oh yeah, I forgot there's an Easter egg in this game somewhere. Somebody's face is in this game, one of the fans. Alright, now I have the lightsaber. Oh, I did? Yeah, there we go. Come on. Look at how much this slows down. Because of all the stuff they have. That's right, I just died because I fell in a hole. Now we can test, do I have infinite lives? I do. I had 3 lives, now I still have 3. So that's good, that worked. So you can watch me fail as many times as possible. Oh yes, and if we get to it, there's one level that's coming up here really quick that I think is one of the worst levels in video game history. Even with infinite lives, I'm probably going to need a save state or something, or a level skip code to get past it. It is probably one of the worst. Health sword, health is increased. Okay. I don't know if you guys have been counting how many times I've been hit, but I haven't. But yes, one of the worst levels in video game history is in this game. And if you guys can point out what level it is, if you've played this game before, high marks. There, I'm just going through it. I do like the soundtrack of these games. I think they did a good job translating everything over. Oops. Alright, so we have an enter cave here. There we go. Talk about out of place music, the Imperial March, yeah. Shouldn't have seen that yet, right? Which is funny because so far, I don't know if it's a good thing or not. Oh, I lost a lot of my health sword. I gained a lot of health in the last level, but now I'm back to normal. Oh yes, and I get to fight more than one of these monsters' shields. Perfect. And see, that's just not fair. Oh, he froze me. I think I'm dead. Yep. I think when he freezes me, I'm already dead. And no, this is not the most difficult level in all of video game history. It looks like I may not even get to it. Yes, these little bat things. They're hanging from the ceiling. Okay. I would have thought, yep. Come on. Come on. Oh, I survived. I don't know how. No! Oh, somehow, if that heart didn't give me any health... Yeah, look at these things. They're just following me everywhere now. And these little bats. It could be that I need... Yeah. It could be that I need invincibility to get through this level, but we'll see. Nice. Shields and health. Can always use those. Come on, get out of the water. Oh. It's all little bat things and electric eels. Not that you would ever want to, but be careful. Don't stand on these too long, because then they start falling. And here's the reason why I got stopped last time. These enemies all regenerate. Yep. Oh. Okay. There we go. Oh. Keep falling off. As long as I don't keep getting frozen. Nowhere I can go. I gotta go back down there and face the monster. Yep. Come on. Get unfrozen. There we go. Shields. Alright. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to, Can I switch my weapon? Yeah. Well, that didn't work out so well. How far back does it set me? Okay, so I get more health. I wonder... Yep. Keep getting frozen. Ooh, he missed me. Oh, but he got me the second time. I couldn't move. As long as his health bar gets defeated more than mine. Ah. Oh, no. I was so close. As I say, I'll just take the death there because I have unlimited lives here. Okay. Got a health sword, but it's not going to matter because I can't get the health. Oh no! I was doing so good too. Hadn't gotten frozen once. Oh. There we go. My gosh. That took some time. Now we're outside the cave again. Oh, but at least we have the more health. Okay. That was a long way to... His name was Boss, yeah. It never says what their names are, it just... Alright. Okay. Now I need to be very careful not get knocked off of these, because apparently, if they knock me off, that's instant death. I gotta go back into this cave. I'm trying to enter the cave. There we go. I was gonna say it's not letting me in the cave. It's nice that it gives me 1/5 of the health he takes from me. I had a shield for crying out loud. And I was just about to get ahead of that one. Ugh. Oh no, it's that little frickin' bat thing. Not sure where I'm supposed to be going here. Okay, I was gonna say, because it's not letting me up here. Telling you, I'm not even at the hard level yet, and this is on the easiest difficulty setting. So you can just chop that up to me being terrible at this game. And surprisingly, that didn't kill me. I don't know what this pollen thing is doing, but yeah, there you go. I also don't remember any of this stuff being in the Star Wars movie, by the way. Come on. There we go. Okay, I got shields, but I need health. Because by the time I get... There we go, I got a little bit of health. Got a 1-up. That's gonna help. Okay, those things are new. If I can avoid them, I would sure like to. Okay, so these electric eels. Oh. Come on, no, no, no. Okay. Oh, I can't see doing this without the infinite. Neither can I. I can't see doing this with the infinite. Oh my gosh. Alright, we're going to do something here real quick. Games, as you guys can't tell, because there wasn't that many of them made. And I don't own all of them, so I can't show all of them. Although, I could show some of the games I can emulate. Like, one of them I really want to try is that Spider-Man game that's like, oh, how much is it? It's like $1,700 or something like that if you wanted to buy it separately. It's something ridiculous. It was one of the last games made for it, so it's really, really rare. One thing I do want to show and capture footage for that's also on the 32X is... Sorry, that Star Wars game just put me in a bad mood. It got me so flustered I couldn't even make sure that I had my stream going. So this here is just one of the tech demos that somebody has made of a cube rotating. There we go. So this is just going to be where I end it today. But anyway, so this Thursday it's the final video in that epic game haul that I had, where... There we go, turn that off. I almost forgot to shut that off last time the batteries went dead. But the next video coming up on this Thursday is going to be the final video in that epic Wii U gaming haul. I also got a whole bunch of Xbox 360, Wii, and some PS3 games as well as some 3DS stuff. Yeah, Mackenzie, I agree. It is insane how expensive that is. Not even graphically impressive for the 32X. I'm sure they only wanted it because they only wanted to do the 32X because of that expanded color palette. That's what a lot of games like to do. So hopefully I'll be showing that game next week, although I don't own it, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to feature it. I mean, I have everything on emulation, but where's the fun in playing the games that you have if you have to emulate it? That would be the first game, by the way, that I featured in one of my reviews that I didn't have physically at the time of it. Usually, I try to borrow it from someone or I'll buy it and resell it. The problem is that game is just so expensive. I have zero options on how to get it legitimately. So we'll see how that turns out. So again, this Thursday, finishing up the Wii U haul. The following Thursday is probably going to be part 5 of the Ultimate Sega CD review. I'm doing the full motion video games. I've already played all of those, so we had those featured on stream before. Maybe next week I might go back to the Sega CD because I have to play the sports games. I didn't play any of those, so maybe golf next week. I'll play the, was it Pebble Beach Links or whatever it is? So maybe that's when I'll do the golf on that one. I've heard Sega paid them to make it a 32X exclusive to have some killer app for the system similar to Star Wars Arcade. I could see that, but I'm not quite sure. That was the last... I've lost my train of thought, hang on. That was the last title, I think, released for the Sega CD. So, and it was also the last time that Marvel let Sega develop a game based on one of their properties until 2008 when they made Iron Man for the PlayStation 3, and I think it came out also for like the Wii and the Xbox. So that was insane. Oh, thanks, Jim. I appreciate that. Yeah, no problem. I had a lot of fun playing them. I'm actually having a lot of fun editing it all together. I like going off of Sega's genres for it because there's not enough games to feature for each genre. Because it's only like 150, 140 games total for the US. And there's even less for the 32X. So the 32X looks like it's going to be broken down into launch games and everything else. So I own about 25 games for the 32X, so I'll be able to feature most of them. Looking forward to the FMV games. You know what? I was surprised at how many of them I actually enjoyed. I'm not saying they're all good, but I got some enjoyment out of each one that I played, except for obviously there was a few that where I didn't. And I'm not featuring all the games I own for the Sega CD, but those were ones that I really like that. If you guys have any other questions, let me know in the chat while I'm still on here for a second. I got a few more minutes before I get in the stream. Usually I just keep playing until it's on, but I'm streaming on a night I don't usually stream, so my time is a little bit more limited. Tomorrow night I'm not streaming because I have other things going on. There's actually some things personal life-wise that are going on this week. Life is still picking up, even though we're still on the stay-at-home stuff here in Illinois. Hopefully you guys are keeping healthy, keeping safe, and not putting yourselves too much at risk. I mean, it's Star Wars Day, so you should have been inside watching the movies, right? And if I have time, I might be able to watch one of them. Here's the question I'll ask you guys before I leave. If I could only watch one Star Wars movie today, what should it be? I have 9 to choose from. I have 9 episodes plus the 2 standalone movies. I guess there was also the Clone Wars movie as well, if you really want to include that, because they all had theoretical releases. So if I could watch one Star Wars movie, which one would it be? Yeah, that is a tough question. I think I can safely rule out The Phantom Menace. I know that movie gets a lot of flack. Personally, I actually do like The Phantom Menace, but I would rank it as probably my least favorite of the Star Wars movies. But even still, it's still a Star Wars movie. I mean, so it's not the worst movie ever made. It's got some lightning battles, lightsabers. At the time, it had the best lightsaber battle there had ever been with Darth Maul. So people seem to forget there are some things that overshadow that, but it's not the worst movie. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. Episode 3 is what Damon shoots for. Let me see, that's... Wow. Why am I spacing on this? Revenge of the Sith. That one is probably my favorite of the prequels. I would definitely think that. I've got Star Wars or Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back, I think, even still this day, is probably my favorite overall. I would probably pick that. That's the game I stream, so maybe that's the one I should watch. I got another one. Chris Hooper says Star Wars 4. I'm not sure. because the Star Wars Episode 4 really makes me want to watch the next one. So, The Empire Strikes Back also makes you want to watch the next one, but it's my favorite, so I can probably watch that one standalone. Disney Star Wars doesn't count, says Mackenzie. Yeah, I don't know. I think in due time, I think give it 10 years. Because remember, everyone was ragging on the prequels, all of the prequels. They were grouping them all together and saying how terrible they were, how George Lucas had ruined the Star Wars saga by coming out with these prequels. And 10 years later or so, we're getting up to 15 years now, since Revenge of the Sith came out. And a lot of people are like, oh, Revenge of the Sith is good. Attack of the Clones is okay. Skip the Phantom Menace. So, 6 is the worst movie ever made. So are you talking about episode 6 or the 6th one they release? I'm assuming you're talking about episode 6. And then I would have to ask you, how old were you when episode 6 came out? The reason why I asked that, probably not the best time to mention that I'm more of a fan of Star Trek. Oh, XO, you know what? When we have Star Trek Day, we can do that. I don't know if there is a Star Trek Day, but when we do that, fine. I will admit, I'm a fan of both. So, and that's strange to think. I don't like Disney Star Wars, not because of the movies, but because of the social justice and political correctness. Yeah, I can see a little bit of that in there. And then, of course, they talked about how they, in Solo, they had to include someone who had a different sexuality because, of course, they're thinking this is futuristic. But really what they don't realize is Star Wars takes place in the past, and yet it's futuristic, so I don't know. I just think that they don't need to make it a plot point. They just need to make it Star Wars. And if it makes sense for a Star Wars story, then great. But don't, copy and paste, oh, this is what every other movie is doing, or oh, this is what the trend in Hollywood is. Let's put one in Star Wars. Let's put one in Star Trek. That's what really annoys me, because if it doesn't make sense to the plot, or if it doesn't make sense to the character, or something like that, and they're just and they're retconning, going back and making things different, have different meanings. I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff, because then it's just, oh, we're doing it so that people will buy more tickets, and that's very evident. They did that a few times in the new one, and so I liked episode 9, though. I'll admit, and I know it's not a popular opinion amongst fans, but I really liked episode 8 when I saw it. And I am a big fan of episode 8 and what it tried to do. It's not perfect. Again, I'm not trying to say it was the best out of all the Star Wars or anything like that. At the end of the day, it is a Star Wars movie, and at the end of the day, they did do some awesome things with it. Love watching 3, 4, and 5, and that's it for Star Wars to me. Yeah, those are probably some of the best. One of my friends, his favorite is episode 6, so I'm sure if he's looking at this chat right now, he's probably not. Actually, I know he's not. But he would have some problems with you saying episode 6 is the worst, because that's his favorite. And the reason why he calls it the one with the teddy bears, that's the one he likes. So, yeah, we get that. We get that sometimes, but 3, 4, and 5, that's kind of it to me. If I had to recommend that to someone, that'd be a good one to start with. I don't know. I have heard that the best way to watch Star Wars is to watch it episode 4, then episode 5, then go back to episodes 2 and 3, and then watch 6. So, I've heard that before. I've heard Jim says that he's heard other people say the same thing about 8. What am I missing? See, that's the thing. Are you talking about good or bad? I will hunt him down. Oh, good luck with that. Like I said, he's not on the gaming channel. I don't think he's joined me on stream for a while, so good. You've heard other people say that. So you're thinking that I'm assuming you're thinking it's not good at all. I think it's that what takes people out of the movie the most about it is the gotcha moments. And it did take me out of the movie, too, when I was watching. It's one of those things where oh, you think this is going to happen? No, this is what happened. And that's basically the plot device of the whole entire movie. But wrapped around that is kind of basically what they tried to do, and there was no way he could do it, is that he tried to remake The Empire Strikes Back. That's all this whole thing was. They said it was like a soft reboot. Episode 7 was episode 4. Episode 8 was episode 5. and episode 9 was episode 6. And if you don't believe me, look at the plot lines of each one and try to tell me that that's not the same exact thing. In the first one, everyone's already made the parallel of, oh, episode 7 was just like A New Hope. But episode 8, it was the Jedi apprentice on the run from the Empire, the bad guys, goes off to get training while the rest of the people have to deal with the bad guys, and then eventually they rejoin the bad guys trying to save, and the Jedi tries to resave them. It's the same exact thing. It is literally the same exact thing, and Luke just basically plays a very bitter Yoda, which a lot of people didn't like. I missed something here. I saw A New Hope back in the drive-in in '77. Kind of makes me feel old. That is nice. I wasn't even born yet, so couldn't watch it back then. That was it. It was trying to do something amazing. Yes, it was. So that's it. It was trying to do something amazing. Yeah, that was something like. Oh, thanks, Mackenzie. I appreciate that. Star Wars had gay characters in the past, but nobody got mad because they made characters relatable and the strengths and weaknesses and fears, not OP super beings. Exactly. Yep, I agree. That's what I said. If it's not just, we're throwing this in for that sake. And like I said, it's one of those things where maybe it's a generational thing where when I grew up that wasn't commonplace, and maybe it is one of those about time things. But yeah, keeping that out of, the only movie I really feel like has delicately, and maybe not delicately, but they didn't overdo it, was The Incredibles. If you watch The Incredibles 2, that movie I think handled it very well. It made sense to the story because Mr. Incredible he had a bad rap, he was the super that was responsible for the downfall of the other supers, so it made sense. Get somebody else on the line, and who was there? Well, Mrs. Incredible had to go do it. So I think how they did it in that movie was done very well. It was evident that was a plot device, but it made sense to the story. They took the time to, hey, this is how things had to go. I know I'm talking about a lot of stuff right now, but like I said, I only had a few minutes left to kind of answer these questions, and we're having a nice conversation here. I almost turned this into a podcast instead of a gaming stream. So sorry if you guys are watching this now and not seeing that. I guess I could play a game while I'm talking about this stuff, but... Hey, Rebecca, welcome to the stream. You're catching me right at the very end. I actually have to stop streaming here in the next 10 minutes because I have some other things I got to get done I work 2 jobs, and Monday nights is when I usually work on my online job. So I got a few more minutes and then I got to head out here. Dryerlet, welcome to the stream as well. You guys missed, I played Tempo for the 32x for a while. Then I very quickly went through Afterburner and Virtua Fighter, and then I played some Super Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, and then we got talking about Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, and I only had a few minutes left, so I was answering some questions here. It looks like, well, I'm working. 2 jobs is the worst. Yeah, it's getting there. I've actually, so going back through the history of that, I actually, when I graduated college, which I did, I actually got my degree in history with teacher certification, and it took me 1.5 years to find a teaching job. It was at that time, it was after the financial crisis had happened. Nobody was. Yeah, I missed Virtual Fighter. I can throw that back up here for a second. At least you'll have something to listen to while I'm yammering about my stuff. So anyway, it took me 1.5 years to find a teaching job in Illinois, and it actually ended up being at the school I went to as a kid. And I'm still working there, which is good. But it took me so long to find a job that my student loan debt started ballooning because I had to make structure payments. I was working at McDonald's, and that didn't pay the bills. So there we go. Kind of have that going in the background here, and then I can capture the beginning footage from it that I didn't get earlier. You graduated college in 2009? That is exactly the year I graduated. I actually graduated in December of 2009. So yeah. Would I rather hang out with Jar Jar Binks or Rose? Ooh, good question, Mackenzie. I'll think on that for a second. You'll be going to sleep now? Well, thanks, Mr. Tommy. It's late for you. Early, late, depending on your perspective. So, yeah. But anyway, so it took me a year and a half to find a job. Then when I did get a job, I was part-time for a while. So it took me a while to actually get money out of it. So I actually went back for my master's. And I got more student loan debt. So the second job is because I have massive student loan debt that I am still paying off. Partially, I mean, that's the only reason why I have two jobs. And I kind of do this as kind of like a hobby to just get away from the two jobs for a little while. I mean, I have family and stuff like that I hang out with too, but yeah, it's definitely never a dull moment. So back to Mackenzie's question: I'd rather hang out with Jar Jar Binks or Rose. I don't know. That is a tough question. If I have just those two as choices, I may just choose to wear earplugs. Sorry, I had to. At least Jar Jar Binks could tell you stories about Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Anakin. Yeah, and it could be too. I would actually, yes, I would say Jar Jar. I would go with Jar Jar because I would like to ask him if he is the reason for the rise of Darth Vader, if he's a secret Sith Lord. If he's the one really responsible for all this stuff. I don't have any questions for Rose. Except, hey, what was it like to save, I can't even think of his name, Finn. You know, what was it like to save Finn, go to a casino, and not do anything in Episode 9? I remember picking up Virtua Fighter for the 32X with a Virtua Fighter t-shirt and a media play. Really? That's kind of crazy. I didn't own Virtua Fighter back in the day. This probably would have been a rental on the Genesis if it came out. No, it was the Virtua Fighter 2 was the one that came out for that. I don't think so. He was a puppy for Sidious like everyone else. You know what? That could possibly be it. Maybe the Emperor was using Jar Jar. He could have been Darth Jar Jar. What's the pet of the Emperor called? What's a good name for that? Anyway, that's too far off topic. We got 4 minutes left, folks. 4 minutes before I have to get off stream here. Ask me any question you want. Star Wars, the channel, anything like that. Just killing time before I have to call it quits for today. Because yes, it is a little after 8 o'clock, and yes, I still have work to do. Oh, a puppet? Yeah. So everyone else is kind of like in his game, too. I almost wonder if that was a chance thing, though, that... I don't know if he was really being controlled by him or not. He really was controlled by him in Episode 2. Because he manipulated him into giving him emergency powers, so... And again, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh, shaking my head, Jar Jar, you're not redeeming yourself. I thought it would have been interesting if Jar Jar was the one that held the map to Luke Skywalker. Like, that would have made more sense. Great show, thanks. Oh, thank you, Damon. And thanks again to, oh, hang on. It just went up there. Mackenzie, thank you very much again for your generous donation. I really do appreciate it. If Sega were still making consoles, would they be like Nintendo or similar in specs to PS4 and Xbox One? I think Sega would have done whatever the most popular is. So, I don't know. They really wanted to tout... They were half and half. They really wanted to tout, like, they wanted to say, we have the best system out there, technologically speaking. And they were really hardware-oriented. But when the Dreamcast came out, they really put an emphasis on the gameplay styles you would make with it. Because they added a way to play your memory card. That's something that I don't think... That hasn't been seen since. And they also added in online, built into the console. They were the first one to do that. Now, of course, it was a modem, and you had to upgrade to Ethernet, but nobody had Ethernet in '99. At least I didn't know anyone who did. So I think it would be more along the lines of the PS4 and the Xbox One, when they probably would have thought Nintendo was crazy for releasing the Wii. And they would have been caught off guard. Yeah, good point with the Dreamcast ahead of its time. So they really wanted to innovate. If I had to take a guess, they probably would have made a gaming tablet before Nintendo did. It would have had to be souped up and have better graphics and everything. Probably would have had horrible battery life. The Xbox, yeah, and I think somebody said, had a good comment the other day I saw online. They said that the Xbox was almost exactly like what the Dreamcast 2 would have been. And I'm not saying that's exactly what it would have been, but someone said that basically Xbox was the Dreamcast 2, yep. Game Gear. Yeah, see, Jim, I was also going off of that a little bit. When gaming went portable back in 2010, 2011, with the iPad coming out and the iPhone having an app store and everything, Sega would have been like, we have to have our own hardware. So they probably would have made a cell phone. They would have probably made something similar to the Vita at that time. But yeah, in the meantime, they would have had a Xbox Dreamcast 2. And then if that was successful, they would have made another one that was not much different. Probably try to add some new gameplay element like the Kinect. So I would say they would have followed Xbox's model all the way through. As I said, what do I think are in the Nintendo leaks? To tell you the truth, I heard about that earlier today, and I thought they already knew, and I thought it was a clickbait article, so I was actually disappointed for having read it. So I don't know. My guess is it's got to be just new games. I don't think they don't have anything in terms of new hardware coming out this year. Unless they suddenly figure out how to do VR on that tablet better than they're already doing it. Love the Dreamcast, but sadly, I think they lost too much money at the time. By the time the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox were released, they had no chance. Oh yeah, they really shot themselves in the foot with the Saturn. And everyone else was entering into this generation except for Xbox, I guess. But the PlayStation 2 was entering into the console with, it was a DVD player and it had backwards compatibility. That was what most people, it had no chance at that point. If it was backwards compatible with the Saturn, then at least they could have claimed that they had, I mean, there was no way they could have made it backwards compatible with the Saturn. The Saturn's hard to emulate to this day to begin with. But, yeah. Everyone knew that Sega was going to abandon it eventually because they abandoned the 32X, they abandoned the Saturn, and eventually they abandoned the Dreamcast too. They had to because they were going bankrupt. The leaks are about stolen N64 documentation and maybe beta N64 games. Really, so yeah, I was thinking maybe they're going to come out with an N64 Classic, or they're going to allow N64 games to run on Nintendo Online. I think if they do N64 games, they're probably going to make it buy them. That could be something that they're doing. Yeah, Jim says, yes, they abandoned everything. I was a Sega fanboy and it was tough to take. Yeah, they were innovators for sure, but the problem is, I guess the big thing is when you put a lot of stuff out there, you can't amass a big enough customer base on one product. Thankfully, the Genesis was so popular, even through the lifespan of the Saturn. The Genesis, I think, still remained more popular, and they were able to get a huge enough customer base that they paid attention to that system all the way up until they killed off support to focus solely on the Saturn. So, and emulation for the GameCube. Yeah, that could be. I mean, they, from what I heard, the Wii U was technically able to be backwards compatible with the GameCube, but for some reason they didn't implement it. I'm assuming it was probably not 100% compatible, and there were some glitches that they would have to fix. Because I've seen homebrew crackers do that, and I think the Wii U and the Switch, if their architecture's not the same or very similar, it's got to be close, because at the rate they've been able to port over Wii U games and they run virtually identically on the Switch, they had to have a way to do that. So I'm assuming Wii, GameCube, and Wii U games all can probably run on the Switch fairly easily without much modification. So yeah, I think that was something that they thought of in the past, like, hey, if we want to have people rebuy some of these games... I'm eating a cucumber. Alright. But anyway, so... good discussion. It's actually been longer than the 4 minutes I had. I'm actually running into my thing here. OXO says, same... was a Sega boy myself, and I felt like they just loyally screwed us fans over. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I was ever a Sega fanboy after the PlayStation. Once I got the PlayStation, I was done with Sega at that point. So, maybe in the mid-90s, I thought Sega was the cooler option, but I never really thought, I don't remember having the thought process of wanting a Saturn. I really thought I was done after the Genesis. And that's partially because the Saturn was more expensive. I knew we were going to get it. Yeah, Sega's mindset was throw something at the wall and hope it sticks. It worked for the Genesis, but not for their other systems, including the Master System. Unless you live in Europe or South America. And yeah, the big reason why that was is because Nintendo didn't have a presence in Europe or South America. But I really feel like that the Master System would have worked out better had they had the ability to get some third-party developers that Nintendo had. So if you had Mega Man on there and you had, oh gosh, I was trying to think of what other third-party, Contra. I mean, those would have been great to see on the Master System. Fortunately, Nintendo had the death grip hold on them. I hope the Mario 64 beta is in the leaks. Interesting. I don't know if that will be in there or not. I know somebody kind of ported. Are you talking about the Mario Odyssey 64? I don't think that'd be in their interest to release that. Very dangerous market approach, especially in consoles. Yep. The big thing about consoles is you have to build up a customer base or else the whole thing falls apart. And that's what we've seen with the Kickstarters. Not to bring it up, but you guys have seen the Ouya, right? You guys remember that thing that came out in the, was it 2014-ish? 2013-ish? That thing, they actually just discontinued their store a couple of years ago. A year or two ago, I want to say. But yeah, the Ouya was, the only reason why I ever wanted one is because it was, yeah, the Ouya. Because of that, the Dreamcast, until years later, like in 2004, secondhand really cheap. Yeah, that's how I got mine. I got mine, actually the one that I got was donated to me by a friend. He was going to charge me $10 for it, and then he said, you know what, just take it. And it came with, I think, 2 games, Virtua Tennis and something else. So yeah, that's how I got mine really cheap. But yeah, the Ouya wasn't able to build up that customer base, so even though the Kickstarter worked out for it, I want an Ouya, me too. Yeah. The only reason why I ever wanted one is because I could emulate games and play them on my TV. At that time, emulation to me was on a PC. There was no way I could play my emulated games on a TV at that point in time, unless I hooked up my computer to a TV, and I rarely ever did that back in the day. But now, I have the Raspberry Pi, so whenever I got that, I'm like, nope, no longer need the Ouya. Sega Saturn is your favorite Sega console? I'm looking forward to getting back into the Saturn because I collected the Saturn for, I think it was $40 at one of these retro game stores. It's been a while, so I've been happy to have it in my collection. But I got into it a little bit, but I don't have too many games for it, so I'm looking forward to actually getting into it and seeing some of the hidden gems that are in there. Dreamcast was at $50 at Toys R Us. Oh, yeah, that was a good price. Brand new, especially. So many memories. Yeah, see, that's the thing. You guys grew up with it, and you guys have all the memories. For me, I'm playing this years later, not having played most of the games. That's the same for the N64. I didn't own one of those growing up either. The first time I played Mario 64 was on the Wii. I got that back in like 2008. So, N64 never lived up to expectations after falling in love with the SNES, yeah. N64 always be your favorite console? Yeah. So, anyway, it's way past my time. I gotta get started on my second job, so thanks everyone for joining me tonight. Thanks again for being there. You guys were awesome coming through on a Monday night. Look for an announcement if I'm going to be streaming next Tuesday. Look for my video that's going to be coming up on Thursday. I'm going to be continuing my finishing up my Wii U run that I did. I collected a lot of games, and we'll see how close I got to a complete collection. So, thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate you stopping by, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good night, everyone.